quick explain about what we're doing. All right. Right now we have a 954. We got 64.3 as you guys saw. We have a nine tooth. That's the smallest you're going to be able to get on there. So we're going to go ahead and do a 72 tooth, and we're going to start with a 10. We'll do a 1072, either a 10 or a 9, one of those two. Because with a 12 tooth on there, 1254, oh no, I mean 954 is equal to 1272, which is turned 6 times. So we're gonna do either a 1072 or a 972, give us a little bit more bottom end. It'll take a little bit of the top off. We'll probably still hit 60, but I think it'll be better. Also, it's weird, they came out with a version 2 after the fact, which are 30 millimeters longer and slightly stiffer, but we're hitting just slightly. Man, I didn't notice it at all when I was riding, but we're hitting a little bit. He does have another bike here. I think he's gonna pass these forks over to his MX and either get my chrome forks, but we'll try to do it ourselves, I guess, or he'll get the version 2. So we'll see what he decides with that. Depends whether he wants the gold or the chrome and how much money he wants to spend. So as of right now, I'm gonna take the chain off and fit it for the 72 tooth. I also got to drill these holes just a little bit bigger to fit the hub, and go from there. Okay, take that off. Let me take this off. Okay, take that out. Pop a little bit. There you go. All right, so this chain, we're gonna remember as the 954. The 954. Okay, put that over there. That 9 tooth will go over there, and this 54 will go over there, and we'll put it in a bag. And then what we'll do is we'll take a separate chain, get the 72 on there with a 10 tooth, and figure out the sizing. With, you know, if I need to use multiple connector links, I will, just for the sizing. Once we get that, we'll know how many links I need, and I'll order that chain. I'm just loosening up these bolts. I'm also going to unscrew my brake also. There we go. I'm going to make sure these spacers, this is my right, this is my left. I don't want to confuse those. Smaller one goes on the right. Okay, cool. We'll probably take that brake all the way off before I install this. We'll move over here. Take these off. I think it's a 10 millimeter, but then we'll have to drill some holes in the other sprocket. I got a 10 millimeter up here. So this is for this, with the 9 tooth, and we will have to fit this on here like that. So we just need slightly bigger. So let's stop it and just drill holes. We'll get closer to over here, these edges. Go from there. All right, so you can see we already drilled out 3 of the holes. I figured I'd show you what I do. I'm gonna lean close to this top as I can. Voila. All right, so we had to go back and forth to finally get this to get lined up. We're gonna put a dab of Loctite on the ends, not a whole hell of a lot, just a tiny dab, because I use red, so I'm just using the tiniest little dab, because if we ever want to take it out, right? Okay, so start with this one, this one, this one, and this guy. It's a beautiful thing right there. So just a real quick of where we're at and what I do to size my chain, because I hadn't pressed record for some of it. I get all my sprockets out, my motor sprockets. I get my chain, and I mean every little bit of chain I get out. Even these even like these little bits. I get little bits of chain, even some with one on it, two. I have some with two, some with three, some with four. And I'll literally, I don't care if it takes me 5 of these. You see how many connecting links I have in here? I don't care if it takes me 5 connector links. I don't need this chain to be sturdy. I'm only using it for sizing. So what I skipped and what I have it narrowed down to, or what I had it narrowed down to, was the best fitment was either, and I'm always only counting one side of the chain, so you always have to double it when I'm saying this. I got it narrowed down to 63 links for the 72 tooth with a 9 tooth. So that's a total of 126 links. So when the chain comes, I'll cut it exactly at 63 links or 126, and then all I gotta do is put it on and we're ready to go. But what I had it narrowed down to before I had it figured out to that was this one had 2 connectors on it, which means it was gonna get a total of 3 connectors to complete the chain. Right? I'm gonna put this down. So if you see, you can see I already had 2 connectors on, and I don't even use the flap. So, because I'm only using it for sizing, I'm not gonna go vroom vroom with it or anything, because it would just snap, right? So it's all for sizing. Boom, this was 63. This one put together, I only used 2 connectors for it, made 64, because I knew that's where I had it narrowed down. I put a 9, I told you the 972, 63 links, fit perfect. But I was like, we kind of wanted to go to a 10 tooth, but it's all right, we'll try the 972. So I tried the 64 links with a 9 tooth, way too loose. So I threw a 10 tooth on, still too loose. So in order for, see how you're in limbo there with these, you can't go in between those 2 sizes. So you're stuck finding the right gearing to make it just tight enough, but not too, not too tight, right? So, and we already were at 954, so that's 6. So once we go to 1272, we're at that same thing. We really don't want to just go to 1172, and we don't even know if that'll be tight enough. So we're going to stick with 9. We probably can fit a 10 tooth in there over, eventually if we wanted to. So we're going to run the 9. Eventually this chain will stretch just a tiny bit over time, and if he wanted to, it'll probably still stay perfect. But if he wanted to, he would be able to probably squeeze a 10 tooth in there if he wanted to. So this is a perfect lineup. Chain doesn't come tomorrow, it comes the next day, but all we got to do is cut it. 63 links or 126, and pop it on there. The 9 tooth's waiting, and the 72 tooth is waiting. So that's it. This is just a quick how I do my chains. I know not everybody has all this extra stuff, but over time, if you're on this, you eventually will, and that's what I suggest doing. Kind of like the spacer deal. You have a bunch of spacers. All you got to do is just keep trying different things. Peace.